Good evening, and welcome to the Temple of Spiritual Awareness. I am Reverend Suzanne Danielle, and it's great to be here this evening to serve you. Tonight we will have Reverend Max Maya, talking to us about the universal laws of cause and effect and perpetual transmutation of energy. That was a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
It's a lot to keep in mind. Before we start, what I'd like to do is have us join together in consciousness and in thought and in intention for those who are in need of prayer, for ourselves, for the world. Creator of the universe, source of all life, we thank you for this opportunity to rest in your peace, to put aside the worries and concerns of our daily existence and dwell in the place that is made for us in our energy and in this space of worship. We thank you for all the blessings that we receive, the small ones that we sometimes take for granted, and the large ones that are meant to move us in the direction according to your anointing for each and every one of our lives. We thank you for all of these things and offer this prayer with all the love in our heart, and so it is.
So it is.
So Reverend Max is taking a small break, and he'll be here shortly. But I know it has been raining very, very hard outside, and all the thunder and lightning and storming has caused an incredible ruckus on the roads, and that may be part of the reason that there are so few of us here this evening. But that's fine, because as long as there's one of us, there's one of us.
There's
and no
enough.
matter where you go,
There you
There
are.
you are. So, Reverend Max, I've already announced you. We've already opened with prayer, and we are eagerly anticipating your lesson this evening.
Woo woo!
Okay.
It's the good news.
It's the good news. Always the good news.
I've heard that my whole life.
Yes, we have.
One of the few times you'll ever see me bring notes, because I'm getting old. I don't remember everything.
Do you remember your glasses? They're on your shirt.
But that's okay. So what I'm going to talk about tonight are two things that go hand in hand in our discussion of universal laws. One is my favorite, cause and effect, and the other goes hand in hand with that is the perpetual transmutation of energy. That sounds like an alchemy, doesn't it? But you know what? You get to be in charge of it. Because see, the universe is not made up of ever smaller things. See, once you get below the subatomic level, wonderful things happen. There's no mass. It's not a little piece of the universe. It has no mass because it functions more like information than like something that's also orbiting around a nucleus or another little building block of the universe. Nah. When it gets down that far, it's all information, which is why your brain has an impact and can influence it. We have machines all over the planet that do nothing but calculate probability. An interesting thing happened on 9/11. 3 hours before the first plane hit the tower, all of humanity knew something was going to happen. Because these machines, that's all they do, they're random number generators. And all of a sudden, they were giving us signatures that somehow, some way, we already knew the historic event that would play out that day. So, how does this happen? It sounds like witchcraft, doesn't it? oh my God, we knew something before we knew it. No, that's every day. A good example is, have you ever thought of somebody and you don't know what's going on in their life and you might not have talked with them for a while? All of a sudden the phone rings and guess who's on the phone? Believe it or not, that was you who produced that reality. That's why, as metaphysical spirituality people, we always say, change your mind, change your world. Why? Because you are the fundamental signature in your reality. So, I was Googling this stuff early on. And I'm going, so how would I explain the foundation of this? How do we make sense of really being in charge of our own reality? How many people think that you cannot affect your own reality? Yeah, well, I would say you design and you create your own reality with Source each and every minute of each and every day.
Manifest.
Yep. Manifestation. And that manifestation is not craziness. It's not wishful thinking. It's not, some type of science fiction thing and we're in a hologram deck. No. It's that you're here for a divine purpose, in a divine time, doing a divine mission. It's within you. You design it, you create it, you live it. And it's your story. So whether you have a story that's horrendous or a story that's blissful, either way you're right, because you get to control that. So I'm going to go over a list that I found was, when you Google this, Google cause and effect, metaphysical. Okay, the first thing that is the foundation, the bedrock of your reality is identification. Identification is who you think you are. Do you think you're ego or do you think you're spirit? Do you want to be the center of all that you survey or do you want to live in service? Producing bliss is far easier than producing your own little heaven on earth. It's almost impossible. Ego is very short-lived and full of illusion. The next thing is interpretation. What do you think things mean? A lot of us like to define things in our own manner. And that's a fair call. I've listened with perplexity sometimes how you would use certain words a certain way, but it's okay. You're right. Either way, you are right. Why? Because it's your story. How much power do you want? How much power can you wield? You know, some people, when I teach people how to be magical, the first requirement, if somebody wants me as a teacher, is you have to give me a thesis paper on the 5 elements of truth. Because if you don't know what truth is, you can't do magic. What kind of magic is that? It's creating and manifesting your own world. Magic is nothing more than the art of getting things done. However you call it, that's how it'll be. But you have to know what it means. You know, in certain sacred stories throughout the planet, To know what something means, to have its secret, to have its identity, gives you complete power over it. So, why would we want to do that? Well, I would say you do that every day of your life. So, if you don't know what it means, guess what type of reality you end up with? Problematic. Because what's another thing in metaphysical spirituality that we know? What the mind focuses on tends to be realized. So if you're worrying about money, guess what's going to happen? You're going to worry about money. You'll never get as much money as you need, because you will produce a reality where money is needed. Now, what would you need to do to have all the money you want? I rejoice and give thanks that I'm healed, made whole, and free from stress. Guess what happens? All your needs are met.
Mm-hmm.
Not all your greed is met, right? Wishing for winning the lottery. Why would you do such a thing? Has anybody ever read the book about people who win the lottery? More times than not, people want to give the money back. Why? Because that big amount of money destroys their life. They don't know how to incorporate it into their story. What they really mean is, I like to be free of debt, I like to be able to go to movies on Friday if I want to go to movies, or go to Universal Studios and shop on Diagon Alley, right? You don't have to have all the money in the world to do that, right? So, it's how you interpret things. And so one up from that is belief. What you believe about yourself, others, and the universe. Now, in the Bible, there are two words used for belief. One is to have confidence in. And the other one is to think in a way that you already have it, rather than praying for it. Spiritual people need never pray for things. It's a useless gambit. It doesn't really do anything. If you just spent time in living your life and being blessed with what you have, you'll get more stuff to be blessed with, right?
Amen.
If you're blessed with all the things, like for me, breathing, I'm blessed. Wonderful friends, I'm blessed. Living on the other side of the planet, I could work on that a little bit, right? But belief is to have confidence in spirit that you and spirit work together. And that belief is that it's a reality. When I'm counseling some of you, and when I'm counseling a lot of other people, especially in the Masonic realm and stuff, they have no idea what belief really means. Belief is the simplest thing in the world. It's the attitude of gratitude. The foundation of love is to be thankful. You know, I'm thankful every day for every one of you. Because without your prayers, I can't be here. Without your prayers, I disappear into the background of reality. And I pray for you. So that gives you substance in my reality. Not that I have any power over you. It's, I am just expressing my gratitude that I'm able to share a piece of reality with you. Now, after belief is orientation. That's what? Orientation of what? Where are you coming from? What's your mood? What's your attitude? Ever notice that some people are constantly griping? And if you gripe, they will compare operational scars with you, right? Oh, you think that's bad? Listen to what I got to say. But if your orientation, your mood, your attitude is in love and gratitude, what a wonderful life that can be. So sometimes you just have to let all the crap go, because that's all it is. It's getting in your way. And for some reason, we like to have it. We love our misery. Because sometimes we think of ourselves as less than, not the powerful, eternal, spiritual beings we really are. Imagine that as you sit there in that chair, you can determine whether or not a universe exists. You can determine whether or not you are comfortable or life is hard. You determine that, nobody else. You are the author of your bliss. You're also the author of your own suffering. Intention, how many times have we heard that? What's your intention? What do you intend? I want you to remember this phrase, and our pastor does this phrase a lot. So what is it? Do we all know it?
Google it.
Google that shit.
Yeah. We say this here when we're meditating, right? I rejoice and give thanks, for thou hast healed me and made me whole. The single most powerful thought you can have at any part of the day. Break the chains of your own imprisonment. Quit giving away your power. All you have to do is say, I'm happy. I rejoice and give thanks. Really? It's cool. Because Spirit has healed me. How many times? Sometimes I think, I'm right in the back of that ambulance and I'm going, how many times do I get to do this before somebody says, okay, you've had enough. Get off the ride, But I know instinctively, I know within my heart, people are praying for me. I can feel the presence of Spirit right beside me. We're like this. We go out and have beer every once in a while, watch a movie. We're cool. Why not? The creative essence of the universe is right there with you. You're never alone. I don't care how stupid bad it gets, how dark the horizon is, thunderbolts, lightning, winds, tribulation, all of that. It's all an illusion. Because all you have to do is what? I rejoice and give thanks. For thou hast healed me. This guy, who is the least of all, this guy you have healed. And not only healed me, but made me whole. Sometimes my cardiologist just shakes his head. Because we can't put you on a terminal list anymore. We can't even think in those terms. Because I'm statistically way beyond that. The outlier that's on the inside. How wonderful is that?
Beautiful.
As many mistakes as I made, as big a pain in the butt as I've been to people, as grabby as I can be, right? I know Spirit, right here, she's my homie, right here, loves me, takes care of me, walks with me. You know, my worst day of the year is Memorial Day. There's a lot of people that didn't make it this far, that I rejoice and give thanks for, so that I can breathe. They made a sacrifice. But Memorial Day still stinks because they're not here. And sometimes I do feel alone, intensely alone. But you know what? Spirit reminds me. You're going to be part of the illusion, or are you going to make a little bit of bliss for you today? You can have it. They're here, I'm here, we're all here. What are you worried about? Why are you suffering? It's an illusion. So my intention, my purpose, my motivation, slowly but surely is, you know what? My life is pretty damn cool. Things are okay. Things are better than okay. They're right. I get to walk hand in hand with Spirit that controls all of this. All of this is just an agreement. It doesn't exist. Action is the one above that. You've got an intention, but intention is nothing without action, right? Faith without works is dead. You know why? No action. Really. If all you are is talk, not going to happen. So what kind of action? Well, hey, on the internet they have this cool phrase. It's from the Unity Church. Action is traction. You want to get your stuff moving? Get action going. So, oh no, I don't got time. The biggest lie we tell ourselves. How many people here have always said, oh, I don't got time to do that, I gotta work. No. You have eternity. How much time do you need? Take your time. We'll wait. So, but how do you feel once you get that action going and you get what you need? Now all of a sudden you're all behind it, right? Nothing succeeds like success. And then finally, the effects, cause and effect. One thing happening makes something else happen. So if you are in the gratitude, if you are in the love of your life, the love of walking in Spirit, what effect would that be? The effect is bliss. If you're feeling blissful on a given day, you are in phase with Spirit. That is your birthright. Bliss belongs to you. You have a right to bliss any second of any day, and you can have as much as you want. Yes, I will take a second helping. Because depression sucks, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Following that illusion of cause and effect gone awry just makes you feel bad. But that's the illusion. So, what goes hand in hand with this was the perpetual transmutation of energy. What the heck does that word transmutation mean? Sounds like some B-horror flick, right?
The X-Men.
Yeah. Max, we're about to transmute the energy. Stand by. Stand by. Strange shit is about to happen. Really? What does it really mean? Transmutation just means things change constantly. From one thing to another. Comes into form, goes out of form, comes in as another form. Energy and vibration have no mass. The only thing that is real is that there is constant change. This is why the Buddha said, all life is illusion. Because the second you think you got your finger on it, it's already changed. The second you think you understand it, it's already changed. So cut it loose. Your brain comes equipped with a reality generator. We're kind of understanding that perhaps there is a part of the brain that deals with dark energy, dark matter. It's called dark because we don't actually know what it is. Let's take the example of baseball. Guys who are at bat are like bumblebees. Bumblebees are not supposed to fly. And a batter can't really ever hit that ball because the ball travels faster to the plate than you can react to it. But what does somebody who attends the church of the spinning ball, what are they doing every day of their lives? They're at bat. It's that first thing they do, they pick up a bat. It takes 3 seconds, 90-mile-an-hour fastball or better. They have this kid now that threw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That puts the ball about a little under 2 seconds at the plate. It takes you 3 seconds to react. What's happening? Part of your brain is actually access, existentially, to the future, because you've repeated over and over again how to swing at that fastball. And so now it's no longer eye on the ball. That'll get you a strikeout. But as soon as that guy stands up and gets ready to pitch, you read all of them. So the guys that are pumping balls out into center field or along the baseline, how many times did they practice that? Their brain is operating on a whole different level, beyond the mechanics. In a way, that's what metaphysical means. It is to go beyond the physical within the construct of philosophy to root causes. So when we say that energy is constantly in flux, you have a place in your brain that understands the mechanics of flux. Everything you do every day is probability dynamics. Our brain operates at such a wonderfully complex level. We don't have math to keep up with it. So everything is in flux. Everything in vibration and in energy is constantly changing. This is why the Buddha says everything is an illusion. But he also says that's why you meditate. Meditation is not a process. You don't do meditation. That's, what some people call meditation is actually trance work. Is you go into a process where you repeat things over and over again, get your consciousness distracted, and allow the subconscious to come out and play. Native American drumming is a good idea. it's that same beat. You know, when you're at the powwow, they start going boom, boom, boom. You can go out, have kids, do a career, come back 20 years later, what are they doing? Boom, 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 boom. But if you stay there, close your eyes and dance. Close your eyes and sing your victory dance. You go to another place. Meditation is the freeing up of your mind. It's not to engage in anything. You get your brain to produce alpha waves by not producing beta waves. Beta waves, normal thought pattern. So the minute you start to think, well, let me get into my process. That's not meditation, that's trance. So, but if you just breathe out, relax, let it go. And after a while, you'll find sometimes you just disappear someplace. You don't know where that is. Some of my best meditations is a half an hour later, I'll kind of like come back into consciousness and go, I must have fallen asleep. But that's okay. But if everything is in constant change, how do you get your mind to phase with that so that it doesn't feel like anything? Here's a thought experiment. Sorry about that. Can you feel it? Just close your eyes for a second and feel yourself moving. Can you feel it? Mm-hmm. Literally, you are moving at close to the speed of light. But it doesn't seem to bother us. You don't see people all of a sudden disappearing in front of you because they went, oop, I stopped myself. Chomp. Go through the wall. Yeah. Isn't that an amazing thing? Because we're on a planet that's spinning at several thousand miles per hour, and that planet is going around a central point, which is going around a central galactic point. We're outside, we're in the boondocks. We're in the Arkansas of the universe. You know, we're right there on the edge of that spiral, and we've been doing so for 10 billion years. How many years is infinity? That's it. So what's the message in all of this? Don't sweat the small stuff. You, like the vibration and energy around you, are constantly changing. The person you were 6 weeks ago is not the person you are today. So, in the midst of all of this stuff going on, people dying, violence, you have a myriad of excuses to cry. Why get out of bed? But just imagine, you are the most complex miracle in the universe, the multiverse. You have all the power you need to do whatever it is you want to do. So get rid of the negative stuff, and you just start with, I rejoice and give thanks, for thou hast healed me and made me whole. And that's the message. It's already true. And now, our pastor.
Aha.
Our inspiration.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Max. Along with that idea of a myriad of things to make us upset and keep us in bed are the myriad of things that we have reason to get out of bed and be happy for. We have a whole magnificent and amazing and magical world that we're engaged in seeing and interacting with. And I can't imagine that ever changing anytime in the near future. So thank you for that. Thank you very much, Reverend Max.
Yes.
Meditation. So what I'd like to do is do an Om meditation this evening, and we're going to drop the lights a little bit. And Vicki Lynn, could you help Peter with the music, please?
Stairway to Heaven.
No, it's not Stairway to Heaven,
Okay.
but it'll be very nice.
Are you programmed
It'll be very nice.
Yeah, that's probably
My hair is tickling me. That's really weird.
No.
Thank you, Peter. So what I'd like you to do is situate yourself in your chair so that you're really comfortable, but also so that you can feel the energy in your body flow evenly and comfortably throughout your body. Nice, deep, relaxing breaths until you feel your body relax, until you feel the stress in your shoulders release, the stress in your brow release, the stress in your muscles release, and the stress in your thought and in your mind release. And then we just breathe comfortably and regularly and just allow a moment to settle ourselves. As we're settling ourselves, we're listening with our ears to the sound and vibrations of the music. And picking up the cadence and the rhythm of our own. And on the next pronouncement, we'll join in. A deep breath in. Deep breath in. Again, deep breath in. as your own. Just follow the breathing rhythm. Deep awakening breaths deep into your solar plexus. And blow that out. Very good. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And so very interesting idea, the Om, and why we practice that particular kind of meditation sometimes. When you're vocalizing and focused on your vocalizing, what aren't you focused on? Anything else, that's right, that's right. So it's very helpful. It's very helpful if you have a monkey mind, you know, it's that very active chatter that goes on in our head that we're not able to slow down. That's a great way to begin to meditate is by using vocalization. Also, it's very interesting, and Reverend Max knows a little bit more about the entonology, for lack of a better word, of the Om, is that the Om is not one sound. Although we say Om, it's actually 3 separate sounds that are joined together. So in the process of that is actually the vibration of the divine. So it helps to raise our vibration as well. And when we're in meditation, of course, we want to have a high vibration, right? Because we want to attract to us that which is for our best and highest good, whether we're meditating or otherwise, but certainly when we're meditating. So I wanted to share that with you this evening. I think it's important to understand what we're doing and not just do it. So many of us go through the process of doing things and not really understand why we're doing them. So here we know knowledge is power, and I want to give you that power. So I leave that with you with blessings. Namaste.
Namaste.
And we are going to have some hands-on healing now. We'll set up a healing station here to the side. And for those who are in need of healing, or those who would like to serve as vessels for healing this evening, you can grab a chair and say goodbye to our Facebook friends. Thank you for joining us. Namaste. We love you. Be well.